In the grand kingdom of Valador, where castles kissed the clouds and gold lined the streets, everyone awaited one thing: the royal ball. But this was not just any ball. It was where Prince Aron, the most eligible bachelor in the realm, would choose his future queen. Nobles buzzed with excitement. Tailors stitched gowns until their fingers bled, and among the flurry of silks and sparkles stood Princess Amara, the richest, most admired daughter of the royal court. With a face like a painted dream and grace refined by decades of etiquette lessons, Amara was confident she would be chosen. After all, she had wealth, beauty, and a bloodline that stretched beyond empires. But far beyond the castle walls, in the village of Cinderella Hollow, a girl with no name to claim, a poor orphan called Lena, gathered scraps of fabric to sew something that could pass for a gown. She didn't want the prince. She wanted to see the palace, to stand, even once, under its shining chandeliers, to feel what it was like to be seen, even if only for a moment. A chance, a dream. Lena had grown up in the orphanage, sweeping floors, caring for the younger children, and feeding others before herself. Kindness wasn't a choice. It was who she was. When an old woman tripped outside the bakery, it was Lena who caught her fall. When the blacksmith's daughter cried over a broken doll, Lena fixed it with twine and love. The village whispered about her warmth. Some even said she glowed when she smiled. But still, she was invisible in a world that bowed only to crowns. The night of the ball, dressed in a tattered gown of mixed fabrics and laced with daffodils she'd picked on the way, Lena stood at the edge of the palace gates. She didn't have an invitation. But fate did. The old woman she had once helped appeared again, this time in the moonlight, revealing herself as Elidra, a mystic of the old woods. "Your heart," she whispered, touching Lena's chest, "has more royalty than most born to thrones." With a wave of her hand, the daffodils glimmered, and the fabric reshaped, and the orphan girl shimmered in a gown of golden dusk and stardust. But remember, Elidra warned, the magic fades when dawn meets your eyes, and what remains must be your truth. Lena stepped into the ballroom. Heads turned. Even the prince stilled. Two worlds collide. Princess Amara noticed her instantly. Who was this radiant stranger? Accustomed to being the star, Amara's eyes narrowed. She approached the prince with practiced perfection, her words dipped in sugar. "She's not from here," Amara whispered, pointing discreetly at Lena. "She doesn't belong." But Prince Orphan wasn't looking at dresses or diamonds. He watched how Lena helped an old guest with trembling hands, how she offered her seat to a tired noblewoman, how she laughed not to impress, but from the heart. He asked her to dance. She hesitated, then curtsied. They floated across the floor like dawn meets daylight, soft, sure, and meant. Amara watched, clenched behind a smile. She had everything, yet why did it feel like she had nothing? The revelation as the final song played, the prince turned to Lena. "I've danced with hundreds," he said, his voice low, "but only one made me feel human again." Lena's eyes welled, not from pride, but from disbelief. "I'm no princess," she whispered. "I'm just a girl who wanted to see your world before returning to sweep floors." But before the prince could reply, a voice rang out. It was Amara. "I knew it," she cried loud enough for all to hear. "She's a fraud, an imposter." Silence fell. Guards moved. But the prince raised his hand. "No," he said firmly. "She's more royal than most of us will ever be. She chose kindness, not privilege." The crowd murmured. Amara's eyes widened. "You'd choose her." The prince turned to Lena. "She didn't come to take anything. That's exactly why she deserves everything." Dawn and destiny. The sun rose. The magic faded. But Lena remained, no longer hidden in rags, but clothed in love, truth, and the honor of being chosen not for what she wore, but for who she was. Amara left the palace that day, not with hate, but with reflection. She traveled the land, seeking to find the humanity she had buried beneath wealth. And when she returned years later, she was not the same girl. She built schools for orphaned girls, and when she visited Lena, now Queen Lena, she bowed, not in submission, but in respect. Final message: in a world obsessed with crowns and gowns, it was a heart, quiet, unnoticed, and unwavering, that won it all. Because true royalty is not in titles or birthright, it's in how we love, how we give, and how we choose kindness, even when the world tells us to compete.